r/askreddit. What conspiracy theory do you believe to be true? What evidence led you to this conclusion?
I believe that the government probably makes some conspiracy theories to try to make questioning the government seem somewhat crazy.
I wrote a complaint online about my pizza place about them cancelling my order without telling me, and the next order I got from them was fucked up. The pizza was way undercooked and not cut, and they didn't include the ranch that I always get with it. Also, when I called to tell them about the F-up, the manager seemed unapologetic, and also like he already knew what I was talking about before I called. My conspiracy is that they retaliated since I basically reported them to corporate through their website with my initial complaint. I got a free pizza on my account with them for this, but decided just to not order from them anymore. Mediocre pizza anyway.
This is by far the most disturbing event in this thread.
The lines on the detergent caps are higher than they should be, so you use more detergent for each load of laundry. It's so easy for them to get away with it.
Oaps gild their own submissions from alt accounts to give them traction. Source: the removed comments in this thread were discussing exactly that. The original comment itself was even gilded and removed in less than 30 minutes.
The real conspiracy here is that 0 in 30 is actually an alt.
It is hilarious that his comment is removed. Reddit is wretched.
The Hawaii nuke false alarm last year was actually the U.S. government testing to see how the general population would react if an actual nuclear war broke out. I have a buddy who was stationed in Hawaii at that time. He says that if he's ever witnessed absolute panic in his life, it was that moment watching everyone lose their crap.
Any stories?
The countdown timers on ads for games or streaming services are actually longer than seconds. Seems too long sometimes.
For what it's worth, I've watched them before because I've thought the same thing, and they always get a full second in before they start counting down. I don't know if after that it's real seconds, but the skip after 5 seconds button is up for about 6 or 7 seconds before you can skip it.
I've always just assumed they started at like 5.9 seconds, but they don't show you the partial seconds. It bothers me, just not enough to investigate. I get my revenge by closing my eyes, putting my fingers in my eyes, putting my fingers in my ears, and saying la 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 la.
Reddit admins get unlimited golden gold posts so it can gain traction.
$5, they won't take the bait.
Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 wasn't an accident. There were definitely external forces that catalyzed its disappearance. The flight path was diverted many times, and there was a lot of shady stuff about some of the passengers and the pilot of Flight 370. We may never know unless the plane is found.
Why is the second highest rated comment removed? The F is that bullshit?
I was wondering the same thing. 11,000 votes and every comment is removed. In a conspiracy thread. Seems a bit ironic.
Found it. It was about admins giving gold to sway popular post rankings.
Restaurant owners know how awkward it is to be sung to in front of the whole establishment, and they do it to discourage people from taking advantage of their free birthday food.
Bro, I'll jerk off in front of the staff if it means free food.
I mean, prison food is technically free.
Disney made Zootopia partly to replace the Song of the South characters from Splash Mountain. Splash Mountain is really the only thing that still exists in the public eye from Song of the South, along with the song Zip, along with the song Zip, along with the song Zip, a-dee-do-da, since Disney wants to pretend that movie doesn't exist. So they created a movie featuring fox and rabbit characters that could replace Brer Fox and Brer Rabbit and rethemed the entire ride to be Zootopia-themed, while leaving some things like the name and the songs featured in the ride from songs featured in the ride from Song of the South. There's also that Disney loves re-theming things to their IP now, getting rid of Maelstrom and bringing in a Frozen-themed ride, so it would make sense for them to re-theme a ride to a successful recent movie, then keep a ride based off an old, mildly racist movie they're trying to forget.
Man, I loved Maelstrom. One of the few Disney rides you could get off and right back on because of low traffic and a great escape during hot Orlando summers.
And it actually fit the area. The whole point of Epcot is to be separate from all the Disney characters in the World Expo section. Adults who are playing drink around the world aren't going to go on a Frozen ride.
The Bandersnatch Black Mirror Netflix special collected watchers' data to better greenlight productions that were more in line with users' taste.
Now that you point it out, isn't every movie on Netflix providing user preference data?
But they don't know if you prefer Frosties to wheat biscuits until now. That Apple started the AirPods meme, and right before Christmas they would give out 150s gift cards.
I fully believe companies are using memes as a marketing technique. All it needs is one big post on a couple subs here, and it's all over the internet hitting their target audience in hours, days.
Confirm this as fact. A marketer. Imgur and Similar have built a business mode out of it, as has F, Jerry, and Ig pages like Doc Kwan.
That there is a huge pedophile ring in Hollywood. Anyone who tries to expose them dies shortly after, coincidentally.
All the UFO sightings throughout history are just humans from the future on a time-traveling safari meant to observe how we were in the past. They are supposed to keep out of sight, but thanks to human/mechanical errors, there have been hiccups with their cloaking, which have resulted in being seen. That's why there have always been so many reports of them throughout history, but there has never been an attack. It's just us. Also the reason why we don't see as many examples of UFOs now, even through pretty much everyone has a camera, is because people are not that interested in this time period, since we already document aspects of human life all the time.
Also, the reason why we don't see as many examples of UFOs now, even through pretty much everyone has a camera, is because people are not that interested in this time period, since we already document aspects of human life all the time. Wow, this is a scarily good point.
So, if we start seeing tons of UFOs, it means something big and nasty is about to happen in the modern era, and tourists are coming back to watch it, like Yellowstone.
23. And me is run by the government to collect your DNA and database it for later.
It's not the government. It's the Mormon Church. I'm not even kidding. They have one of the largest collections of DNA and genealogy on the planet.
My parents converted about 10 years ago. You are 100% correct. I've learned more about my ancestors in the last few years than I have my entire life.
Michael Jordan's father was murdered in retribution for Jordan not paying off massive gambling debt. Jordan didn't retire and then come back. He was suspended for gambling. In the mid-90s, Michael Jordan was an industry. The truth about his gambling habits may have cost a lot of people a lot of money, so the cover story was presented.
Found Bill Simmons' Reddit burner account.
iHeartRadio coordinates commercials breaks to all take place simultaneously, so you're forced to listen to ads even you change the station. They're practically a monopoly in my area, and I notice it happens to me all the time.
Every time someone posts about a safe on Reddit, they actually have already opened it and know nothing is in it before their first post.
I keep ink pens from every year dating back to 2008 in my desk so that if I need to forge and backdate an important document, I can sign it with ink that matches the year I'm backdating. Yes, feds do check ink in fraud investigations. Not really a conspiracy, but might answer a few questions.
Fountain pens are great for this. Most of my inks are a decade old or older. Also makes it very hard for someone to convincingly forge my signature. I put a little bit of green in my black, and the pen I use for very important things like contacts and legal logbooks has a very well-worn nib.
This guy signs.
Our apartment building has windows that are nearly impossible to affix a screen to. Same goes for the sliding doors. The power is centralized and locked in to a certain expensive power company. I believe the developer and power company conspired to make people living in the apartments use the aircon more by making it hard to keep windows open without dozens of mosquitoes coming inside.
A lot of newer buildings are designed to look beautiful from the outside, and that means no screens on windows. I hate it. I love fresh air, but during the summer I either roast or let flies and mosquitoes into my apartment.
There are expandable mesh screens out there.
I have a theory that Tinder gives fake. You got a new match notification, so people get excited and opens Tinder, which leads them to swipe more. Source, myself.
That Reddit mobile is purposely broken to make you download the app.
False, because app is also broken.
I've been using Reddit is Fun for 7-ish years now, since at the time Reddit didn't have their own mobile app. I tried the official app just this year and hate it. They're trying to push the redesign, which sucks. Reef is solid and always works. That's one app I don't regret paying for.
That Disney made a movie named Frozen, so that when people Google things like Frozen and Disney together, info about the movie comes up instead of stories about Walt Disney's frozen head.
If Walt's head had been frozen, what reason would they have to hide it?
I just think they don't like the story. Not sure I actually believe they froze the guy's head, but I think they don't really want their fans to hear the stories as much.
I'm starting to think that the really stupid conspiracy theories, vaccines causing autism, flat earth, lizard people, etc., are intentionally spread by propaganda groups and troll farms. They don't care what stupid crap you believe. but they are very interested to know that you're a gullible mark who will believe anything with no evidence and won't do research with authorities on the matter to find the truth. If you want to spread misinformation, look for the people who do it as a hobby.
Area 51 is not a place for secret government/military testing with aliens and stuff. Instead, Area 51 is a scapegoat, while shady behind-the-scenes stuff is going on at another military base that the general public doesn't know about. I mean, if you were really going to do something in secrecy, would you do it in the place where everyone thinks it is? Hell no. I don't have any specific evidence to back this up, but it makes sense, right?
I thought about this, but I tend to believe the actual base is buried deep underground, almost like the hive in Resident Evil.